Oh, hello. It's me, Andy Krutzinger. I was just reading one of my favorite books, Bedtime for Baby Shark. The perfect book for when your little baby shark is not going to bed. But you know what? It's a different kind of time right now. An all new adventure called Savvy Style Union Sports Talk. Hunter Mueller, are you ready to do this?
Dude, I'm ready to rock.
Ready to rock. And then if we had a
Ready to
theme
rock.
song,
I'm
that would really
feeling good,
be
man. Feeling
that was
good.
cold open. I'm feeling good too. We got some basketball last night. We had some big time wrestling later this week. We're gonna start with how about we start with a little basketball, honey? We're gonna start with a little basketball.
Yeah, we can start with a little basketball.
Little basketball. We were at some basketball on Friday. By the
Yes,
way, this
sir.
is Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk Live, powered by Fairway, as well as all of the commercial ads, the companies, local, all local, 100% local. We're all local. We're locally loved. Ooh, the way you put your arm up there in the camo, it almost looked like you had a tattoo sleeve for a second.
I know it's the
Uh,
camo, man. The camo.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna talk a little Mount Pleasant, Washington, the Battle of Highway 218 to Highway 92, 218 92. Had a little girls and boys action on Friday night, Hunter, and I had a couple close ones.
Yeah,
Um, we're gonna start with the ladies. Are you okay with me starting with the ladies?
go right
Girls
ahead.
basketball. Girls basketball. So the first time these guys squared off in the squared circle. No, not in the squared circle, but on the court. Washington took care of Mount Pleasant. Were you at that? No, I was at that game. I've done two Mount Pleasant Washington games. What was that, Alex? You
You're
talking
echoing
back over
Echoing,
there,
you're
again.
Alex?
echoing again.
You're
I'm
echoing again.
echoing again.
I
I
don't know what's
echo now.
causing it.
Hello.
You're still echoing.
Is it really bad? Hello.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
Whoa. Hunter, you talk about Fairfield. I'll sign up on my phone.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
I'm
So I'll
muting
jump.
myself.
Okay. So I'm gonna jump into some Fairfield action. So last night I was in Fairfield. The Trojans were taking on the Blue Demons of Albia, and kind of a tough night. Two great games from the Trojans on both sides, but the girls fall 57-42. I mean, really, it was, the final score kind of doesn't show how close it was throughout. At the half, Fairfield was down or was ahead 26-24. And then heading into the fourth, they were down just three, 40-37. And in that final period, kind of Fairfield just kind of lost, the kind of offensive presence that they had throughout those first three quarters. And Albie ended up outscoring them 16-4 in that final period. So kind of created some separation there when it was a lot closer than that. Through the first three periods there. So tough one for Fairfield. On the girls' side, that does mark their kind of a tough end of last week as well. I'll just read off these scores. I was in Fairfield once again on Thursday night. They took on Fort Madison. Kind of a tough road here on Thursday and Friday, taking on the two top teams in the Southeast Conference in Fort Madison and the Keokuk on Friday. But the Trojans fall to Fort Madison at 47-21. Really, in that one, it was really kind of the storyline in that one was Fairfield just kind of struggled to score. Defensively, they did well early on. The first quarter, it was 4-2 after the first period. And that one, I remember texting Andy. I was like, "Yeah, we've got quite the battle here." Both teams kind of struggling to find their shot. Savannah Hollander hit it too in the final seconds in that first quarter to give them the 2 points there. But it was 4-2, and then after that, Fort Madison kind of pulled away. It was 15-3 in the second quarter. Biggest quarter for Fort Madison on the night came in the third. 24 points they dropped in, holding the Trojans just 8. Fairfield did take the fourth 8-4, but they were held to 16 points in the second half, and then Fairfield dropped 28 in the second half, so they ended up winning at 47-21. And then taking on the top seeded right now in the Southeast Conference on Friday, Keokuk. They fall on that one 74-27. Still kind of same story kind of early on. as we saw against Fort Madison. Trojans were down just two in the first quarter, 15-13. And then Keokuk really kind of blistered them the rest of the way. Scored 31 in the 31 in the second while holding the Trojans to 4. And then ended up scoring 28. Keokuk did in the second half to the Trojans just 10. So some tough losses there for Madison, for Fairfield there last night and then end of last week. But then on the boys' side here, last night another kind of close game, really a back and forth battle. At the break, it was, I mean, Fairfield or Albia kind of created some separation late in the second quarter. Ended up leading 36-21 at the half. It was 17-8 after one, and Albia was kind of just knocking down shots and it felt like they couldn't miss in the first half there. So gave them a little 17-8 lead, but plenty of time. Fairfield had plenty of time to get back into it, and they did late. They pulled it within 6, came as close as 6 late. But the comeback bid fell short as Albia knocked down some foul shots and hit some big shots in the final minute to kind of keep ahead there. So they ended up winning 68-59. Last night, Albia over Fairfield. And then same story for the girls. Fairfield taking on, those two teams, Fort Madison and Keokuk, are both good in the boys' side too. Fort Madison obviously has been rolling as of late. You watched them or you weren't at the Mount Pleasant game in that one, but Fort Madison took down Mount Pleasant handed the Panthers the first Southeast Conference loss, and Fort Madison is looking pretty good right now. They take down Fairfield 60-37 in that one, and just tough loss there for them. And then Keokuk obviously right up in that top 3 as well, 60-35 over the Trojans on Friday night, and so kind of a tough start to the week, tough end of the week last week for the Trojans. But I feel like they've been playing some good ball. I mean, obviously early on we're kind of seeing them play with these the top tier teams in the conference, and then a really good Albia team last night that played close with Washington early on in the season. Watched that one too. So you got to feel. I feel like you got to feel good at what Fairfield. I feel like they're kind of getting better, progressing in a positive direction as the season's gone on. So, just a couple tough results here the last few days.
Yes, and can you hear me, Hunter?
Yes, you sound better now.
You can only hear me once, right? That's because I'm coming from my phone. I'm also coming from my audio. So should I kick? I'm going to kick Andy number 1. Andy number 2 is going to kick Andy number 1 off.
Okay.
So
you're not echoing anymore. I don't know why it just starts echoing.
No, I'm not echoing anymore because I'm on my phone. You can see me twice here.
I know. I just don't know why it starts echoing on your computer.
If I can actually punch myself out. You ready for this?
Do it.
For this? Pow!
You're still here.
Sorry, I didn't realize you had to click 2 buttons. All right, I'm here. I'm going to talk a little Washington, Mount Pleasant. So as I was saying, Demons and Panther girls, first time they faced off, it was 66-40 Washington. Now Washington is a little shorthanded, of course, no Adeline Long for the rest of the season. But Mount Pleasant did have the lead here in the first half. They led 20-19 at halftime. Looked like might be another one of those games like when Mount Pleasant played Fairfield in Mount Pleasant. It was kind of a low scoring battle, and they were able to pull that out. But this time it was the Washington Demons 40-29 over Mount Pleasant, finishing off the season sweep of their chief rival. And it was a pretty big night here for Kendall Henriksen, who went for 11 points. Addison Miller and Macy Williams each scored 8 in that. Lauren Henriksen and Oakley Saboski 5 apiece. Mount Pleasant Juliana Burns probably had her best game that I've ever seen her play. She's been varsity here for a couple of years. She went for 11 and a few rebounds too. Maya Starr with 6 and Peyton Insminger with 5. Mount Pleasant had a ton of rebounds in this one. In fact, they got 45 shots up, and we don't have the total number of shots for Washington. But Mount Pleasant had 33 rebounds, including 15 offensive rebounds. They just couldn't put the ball in the basket. There were a lot of possessions where they'd have miss layup, rebound, miss layup, rebound, miss layup, rebound. Washington wasn't shooting very well in the first half, but second half came around and the Demons started to hit some threes. So Washington over Mount Pleasant. Let me know if I disappear when I do this.
Yes.
Oh, I'm disappeared.
Yeah, I can't see your face.
Zoom, come on, Zoom. You guys got to figure it out. I was going to read some scores from last night for Washington, but the Washington girls played Mid Prairie last night and fell off the top of my head. I can say that Brooklyn Schneider went for 15 for Mid Prairie.
Hey,
13. What?
I'd say let me go to your tweets and then I can.
You can, well, they might have stats on that for Mid Prairie. And last night, the Washington girls dropped one to Mid Prairie, 47-32, and then Mount Pleasant also lost on Saturday to Mediapolis. Now we're doing like a little time machine here. Back to Friday night for the Mount Pleasant and Washington boys game. And this one, Washington actually led after one quarter, 19-16. But Mount Pleasant from then on wins every quarter, 71-54. There was kind of a time here where Mount Pleasant was up 36-32 at half. They were still at 4 points with maybe less than a minute left in the third quarter. Washington gets a steal, misses a layup. On the other end, Peyton Higgins made a falling 3-pointer. That was so that took it from what could have been a 2-point game if Washington scores to then a 7-point game. And then Washington's offense only scored 3 in the fourth quarter. So Mount Pleasant ran away with that. I'm not sure if I said it, but 71-54. Peyton Higgins, 31 points, including 7 3-pointers, which ties the school record at Mount Pleasant. Christian Stacy, 18. So between the two, they combined for 48. The first time they played Washington, they combined for 54. And then Mount Pleasant beat Mediapolis one day later on Saturday, and Higgins and Stacy went for 50 again. So that is between the two of them, they're scoring numbers that some teams average right now. And so they play Burlington tomorrow night. Of course, Mount Pleasant's still in front in the conference.
Tonight.
Oh, I'll be there. Yes, tonight. It's still Monday in my brain because it's so early. But so they'll play Burlington tonight. A win would put them one step closer to a conference title. They're still only a game ahead of Keokuk and Fort Madison. Nick Stone hit a trifecta of 3-pointers for the Demons. He scored 13. Logan McDowell 11 and Kel Williams 10. That's just Washington's theme is that it's just balanced no matter what. And in fact, kind of speaking to that, Washington lost to Mid Prairie last night, 62-59 in boys basketball. And there were a couple themes that were the same. One, Washington got to a hot start. It was 18-13 after one quarter, 31-26 halftime, and 47-40 after 3 quarters. Mid Prairie storms back thanks to 8 3-pointers from Ace Peck. So the second game I covered where Washington gave up a bunch of threes to the best shooter on the other team. He scored 24 points. Every single one of his points was on a 3-pointer. That was one off of Mid Prairie's school record. And then for Washington, Roman Roth had 11 points in the first quarter, ended up with 16, and Drew Conrad had 14 for the Demons. That's 62-59. Actually, towards the end, Conrad had a heave at the buzzer, and it was nothing but net, but it was the bottom of it. He just grazed the bottom of the net on his way. It looked pretty good, just a little bit short. Golden Hawks over Demons. Those two have had a couple of I was gonna say a couple of close battles, but last year was not. But that's actually Mid Prairie's first win over Washington since 2019. Snapped a 3-game winning streak for the Demons. So there you go. And as we sit in the SEC standings, girls, Keokuk 7-0, Fort Madison 6-1. All our teams are pretty much out. Washington's only got 3 losses in conference, 5-3, but they would need a lot of crazy stuff to happen. And the boys, as I said, Mount Pleasant 6-1, and then we got Keokuk and Fort Madison hanging in at 5-2 apiece. And by the way, tonight there's a weird number of games. Mount Pleasant actually plays 2 different teams tonight. Mount Pleasant and Fairfield will renew their girls basketball rivalry tonight, and Mount Pleasant plays Burlington and boys in Mount Pleasant.
I'm excited for that one. The overtime winner. I'll be in Fairfield watching that one again.
Yeah, you'll be in Fairfield as was it a overtime or was it was just single overtime, right? When I covered it last game.
Yeah.
So Abby Carthy hit the buzzer beater, so there'll be a little extra angst in that one. Should be a fun one. And we got single games tonight, Hunter. We're not gonna be out till the wee hours of dawn. So but I would stay out to the wee hours of dawn and further to watch our commercials from our sponsors. So
Yes,
you
sir.
got about 3 minutes here. We're gonna come back, talk a little small school action, and yeah, we'll see you in a bit.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a type of care that focuses on living. Servicing a 7-county area, the Hospice of Washington County staff of nurses, social work, hospice aides, spiritual and grief support, volunteers, music and massage therapists are able to provide free end-of-life care where the patient lives. We write wills, give consent for organ donation, but rarely is there a plan for what we would want the final phase of our lives. At Hospice of Washington County, we encourage our patients to be in charge of their healthcare decisions while maintaining quality of life.
Tammy takes the time and has the personal interest in each one of us. I don't worry about what's going to happen because I know my policy is taken care of.
She pulls what I need and puts it together, which is the program I get from her.
Every year she calls around September or so and says, there's changes again, and I'm going to do the best thing for you. It's been perfect. She does a great job.
At the Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself.
I am Melissa Westfall with Homegirl Realty. Heather and Charlotte and I have worked together for many years, and we have always had a vision to have a business together.
I'm Charlotte Howard, and the good news is we bring a very high level of experience. We have a combined 80 plus years of experience in this real estate marketplace.
I'm Heather Merrick, and Homegirl Realty brings a lot of things to the table. We have phenomenal communication with our clients, buyers and sellers, to make sure things are going smoothly and you don't have anything to worry about.
Hello, and welcome to Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk B Block. We're in the B Block now. It was the A Block. Now we're in the B Block. Now I can't see you guys, so I don't even know what's going on. Everyone can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Here we go. I couldn't see Hunter for a second. We're going to do a little boys and girls basketball chattering. You know what? I'm going to start this out because I was at along now. Now we're going in the Wayback Machine. Fans of Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk, do you remember our last episode coming from the studio on Thursday? Well, a few hours after that, I went to Winfield Mount Union High School in Winfield, Iowa, and I got to see the Winfield Mount Union and Waco basketball teams go at it in some Super Conference North action. I'm gonna start with the boys because the boys game was the big one. First place is on the line. Winfield Mount Union came in undefeated in the North, one game ahead of their rivals Waco, who they beat earlier in the season, and it was a very fun battle between the Wolves and Warriors. It went the way of Winfield Mount Union 64-56. Warriors got out to a 5-0 lead. Winfield rallied. It was 9-7, 22-12, and 43-25. Those are the quarter breaks. And Waco cut it all the way down to 6 from a 18-point game. But Winfield Mount Union, a little too much for the Warriors. as I said, 64-56. Cam Buffington, 23 points. Gabriel Hemsworth, 12 points, including a huge 9-point stretch in the third quarter to kind of help them stretch it out. Abram Edwards, 11 points and 14 rebounds. By the way, Buffington ended up with 22 points and 11 rebounds, double-double. And Hunter Hughes didn't have the greatest shooting day, but he did everything as usual for the Warriors. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Colton Lichty, 13 points, and Chase Waterhouse had 10. There was a point in this game where it was a really intense point in the game, and Cam Buffington had one of the coolest dunks I've seen this year. Probably the coolest, an and one dunk. Got fouled by Colton Lichty. Missed the free throw, but it was an and one dunk. And now the other end, Colton Lichty got him right back. Not with a dunk, but with an and one the other way. So it was an exciting one, a fun one. And we'll see. Brackets come out next week. We'll see if that's the last time they're. Well, we won't even see it because they could play each other in Des Moines for all we know.
Right.
That's the last time they'll play each other. But season sweep for Winfield Mount Union in the regular season anyway.
Yep.
Girls. Waco girls got to a scolding hot start. And by the way, that has parlayed, spoiler alert for Hunter's roundup coming up. That was the first of 4 wins for Waco between Thursday and today, all in North Division action. This one was 58-37 Warriors, 20-2 after the first quarter, 37-50 at halftime. Winfield Mount Union played them pretty close after the first quarter, but it was all Waco. Emma Wagler had a huge gain, 18 points and 15 rebounds. Ella Huizinga had 10 points. Huizinga, I messed up. I went with with Loudon's last name. Those are 2 different last names. And no, they're not. I don't know. I think I pronounced something right, but I thought I mispronounced. Marie Farmer with 9, and on Winfield side, Madison Kellogg with 17, essentially with 9, and Caitlin Kellogg puts in 4. By the way, Madison Kellogg had 11 rebounds as well, so double for her. She's been getting a lot of double doubles. Actually, if you look up the leading scorers in the Super Conference North, she's right there. I think 2nd or 3rd. So Waco now looking pretty good in the North, still behind that kind of clump of top teams. And Winfield Mount Union still looking for a few wins here to close out the regular season, although they did beat Eliza Muscatine the other day. You're probably just about to talk about that because we're going to do some roundup action.
Well, I'll just go through the scores here. On the boys' side, obviously, Winfield Mount Union, obviously number 3 in Class 1A, gets another Southeast Iowa Super Conference North win, 76-12 over Columbus. Abram Edwards led the way, 15 points, 10 rebounds. Cam Buffington, 12 points. And then Colton Milks, 11 for Columbus. Tim Hills Carrier had 7 points. Ellis Hills Carrier were 3, and Ryan Cool 2. Our other ranked Class 1A team we cover, number 5 in the 1A rankings, in the latest rankings, I guess. I need to double check those because those should have came out yesterday. I'm assuming that everybody's in the same spot though. But Keota 89, Tri-County 33. So the Eagles pick up another one. Sawyer Stout 24 points, Chase Siren and Connor Crane each 13 for the Eagles there. Waco gets back in the Southeast Iowa Super Conference North win column, 64-53 over Hillcrest Academy. So Winfield Mount Union and Waco have kind of separated themselves from kind of the rest of the field. Pekin's still kind of in that mix as well. But Colton Lichty, 17 points, Chase Waterhouse, 13, and Isaac Egley, 10 for the Warriors. Rowan Miller, 20 for Hillcrest Academy. Bryce Bailey, 13, and Seth Hours, 12. Pekin, just mentioned him, 66-55 over Lone Tree. And then Wilton, Downs Mid-Prairie, 72-61. Wapello, 73-27 over Highland. Holy Trinity Catholic, 69-20 over Van Buren County. West Burlington, 87-48 over New London. And then Sheraton, shout out Sheraton, 75. Shout out Sheraton, but in a negative light of one of our teams, 75-37 over Cardinal. So those are the Friday scores. On Saturday, had a couple teams play. Kyoto was back in the mix. Took on Hillcrest Academy. Pretty dominant showing for the Eagles there, 71-35 over Hillcrest Academy. And then Waco played as well, 60-36 over Wapello. And then Van Buren County, 51-45 over Clark County. So that's your boys roundup from the Friday and Saturday. On the girls' side, Columbus gets another Southeast Iowa Super Conference win 43-37 over Winfield and Mount Union there. Ariana Vergara led the way, 14 points. Isabel Rendon, 13, and Franny Sosa, 10. Madison Kellogg led WMU with 14. Sutton Schleal, 9, and Pacey Schleal, 6.
Schlee. It's hard to say, but it's Schlee.
Is it Schlee?
You gotta say all the vowels before you get into the or you gotta say all the consonants before you get to the vowels. Now I can't even say consonants.
Schlee. Okay, I'll remember that now.
Yeah, I was meaning to tell you. I heard you call it Shield the other day. And I
was gonna say that's how I've just been saying it. So
it's a tough one.
But yeah, and then we have Waco 48-42 over Hillcrest Academy. Let's see, Emma Wagler, 18 points, 15 boards. Nice little stat line for Brenna Graber, 11. Ella Housingay, 8. And then Highland, 54-22 over Wapello. Sarah Burton, 18 points, 14 rebounds in the win. Mackenzie Davis, 9. And Stella Slaymaker, 8. Sheraton, 60-27 over Cardinal. Emma Becker led the Comets with 11 points. Holy Trinity Catholic, 56-25 over Van Buren County. Lone Tree, 50. Pekin, 30. And then Wilton 42, Mid Prairie 41. So down to the wire, a little loss there for the Golden Hawks. And then West Burlington 45, 37 over New London. And then on Saturday, Keota 48-41 over Hillcrest Academy. Waco gets another one, 49-41 over Wapello. And then Clark County 49-15 over Van Buren County. And then Lone Tree 54-39 over Highland. Obviously, we're seeing Lone Tree on the girls' side has taken kind of firm control of the North Conference after a couple losses from Columbus. So Lone Tree now in control. Still only one loss on the season for them. So, and that's all around it.
Yeah, I have an alert. I have breaking disrespect alert.
Oh no!
Wee! What's the breaking disrespect sound? I was gonna say we got new boys basketball rankings in yesterday.
That's what I thought. That's why. Is everybody the same spot, or do people move up?
Neither of those things happened. Winfield Mount Union, after a big win over Waco, drops from number 3 to number 4. And Keota, after beating Hillcrest, a very good Hillcrest team, by 36 points, drops from number 5 to number 6. Breaking disrespect alert.
3?
Northland, they must have had a big win.
Is Bellevue still number 1?
Class 1A, Marquette Catholic Bellevue, Madrid, Northland, Winfield, Mount Union, Lake Mills, Keota, Linfield, Sully, North Union, East Mills, and Key Lansing. There are 3 undefeated teams on that.
Madrid moved in, huh?
Two undefeated. Madrid moved, yeah. So I'll have to check and see that. By the way, Class 2A, breaking disrespect over news. We covered this last week that the West Burlington Independent School District was not happy. Their boys basketball team had not been ranked yet. They are now ranked number 10 in Class 2A, and nobody in 3A. So breaking news. And now some breaking good news. It's time to visit our sponsors. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little girls wrestling. How about that, Hunter? And some boys wrestling.
Yeah, we got a little wrestling. Little wrestling. It's coming down to the.
We had some how was I saying basketball earlier?
Yeah, some basketball.
Going from some basketball to some. I don't have it anymore. Well, I'll see you after this commercial.
At 5 Star Community Credit Union, we want to help you lead a better life. We offer competitive rates and convenient appointment times for all kinds of loans: auto, recreational vehicles, home equity, line of credit, holiday, and personal loans. We make it easy to build your credit and enjoy the good things in life.
We invite you to join 5 Star Community Credit Union. We are community-minded and member-focused. Come visit our locations in West Burlington and Mount Pleasant or online at 5starcu.org. Federally insured through the NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Hello. Welcome back to Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk, where our ace reporter, Hunter Muller, has solved the case of why our Class 1A teams went down the rankings. Hunter, we throw it to you.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Madrid, who overtook the third spot. Or no, overtook the second spot, right? You said they were number 2?
Yes.
So, yeah, now it's Marquette Catholic, which is the team who London beat last year to make the state. Fun fact.
I was there. It was great. They had
1.
very nice fans, by the way. Shout out Marquette Catholic.
And then Madrid is number 2, and then Northland number 3, Winfield Mount Union number 4. You said, but we were kind of trying to figure out why that jump happened. Madrid, it looks like they moved up because they beat Earlham last Friday, and Varsity Bound has Earlham as number 3 in Class 1A. Now, Earlham is not ranked in like the IHSAA rankings, but they must be a pretty good team for them to ranking, and they had 4 losses coming into that one, so beat them pretty handily, 64-49. So I mean,
shout out Madrid.
We'll
probably be seeing one way or another. We'll probably be seeing either Madrid, Northland, Marquette Catholic. One of us is going to watch them play some basketball this year.
Right.
Let's talk about some wrestling, and I have some fun news. We are, what did it say, Tuesday, January the 30th. That puts us 2 days away from the 2nd annual sanctioned Iowa High School Girls Athletic Union state tournament. And our girls wrestlers, which there are a good number of this year, were in all over the cities last weekend, mostly in Des Moines and Cedar Rapids. We had 4 different regions represented by the Union coverage area, and 8 different schools will be represented at the Extreme Arena in Iowa City on Thursday morning. Top 4 go on from the regional meet. Some of these brackets, especially the lower weight had full brackets, so it was pretty impressive to get top 4. Most of our qualifiers actually got 3rd or 4th. We didn't have a ton in the championship, so they had to wrestle in some pretty clutch matches, because not only will they wrestle for true 3rd like you usually do in a tournament, but because 4 make it, they wrestle for true 4th. So if the 4th and 5th haven't wrestled, they go at it. Basically, you have to win a good amount of matches to get to girls state. I'm just going to go with a couple of girls. I'll start out with Sigourney Kyoto's Rihanna Utterback, who is still undefeated. I think 4 pins on her way. She will be making her girls state debut at 1:15 for Sigourney Kyoto. That's the only one Sigourney Kyoto got. And then Highlands Angelina Rowling got 2nd. She was the only other one to make a championship. She will be going at 1:10, along with Waco's Riley Rice will be there at 1:10. They were both in the same regional, and they will both be going on maybe a rematch, a Super Conference North rematch later on. Our most popular team was Mid Prairie, all 3rds and 4ths here, but they all stuck through. Ashley Ferrier at 130, Ellie Brenneman at 135, and Ellie Callahan at 170, all going to the state meet this Thursday. Columbus WMU, they got a WMU and a Columbus. We got Josie Nelson and Lisette Coros Nelson, 140, and Lisette there was at 155. Cardinal Abigail Derflinger at 105, and Asia Cox at 155 going. Pekins Haley Pedrick's going. And for the Fairfield Trojans, Samantha Lyons is going. Oh, I should have said Derflinger 105, Asia Cox 155, Haley Pedrick 135, and Samantha Lyons will be joining Mid Prairie's Ellie Callahan in the 170 bracket. So that starts on Thursday morning. That will last until Friday night. We'll see if we got somebody in the championship. Utterbacks are our highest ranked. They kind of rank them out. She's got the 3 seed. There are a bunch of undefeateds in that bracket, so you can't really see them out super fairly. But girls wrestling, it's still pretty new. A lot of crazy things can happen. I was there last year, and there were matches where girls looked like they were done for, and then 5 seconds later they were getting a pin. So it's a very exciting event. Extreme Arena does a good job, and so I'm excited. So we got double digits. We'll see how much we have by Thursday night, Hunter.
Yeah, a lot of great wrestlers, especially around this area too.
I'm gonna make a prediction. It's a vague prediction, but I'm gonna say we have somebody going on Friday. How about that? How about that for confidence in the winners bracket on Friday? What?
I agree.
Yeah, and then yes, you do agree. That's a part of your job description. And then why don't you go real quick? The Southeast Iowa, the boys wrestling in Fairfield. I messed up the name of the tournament.
The Southern Iowa Classic.
Southern Iowa Classic.
So yeah, Fairfield, Mount Pleasant, Washington all compete in the Southern Iowa Classic in Fairfield on Saturday, and a 10-team field. With those trio of teams there, Fairfield was the highest placer as a team, 152 points for good enough for second. Washington tied for third with Prairie City Monroe PCM with 137 points, and Mount Pleasant placed ninth with 66 points. Fort Madison was the tournament champions, 179.5 points for the Bloodhounds there. So a bit kind of how it played out in the Southeast Conference is how it played out in this tournament in the head-to-heads throughout this wrestling season so far. So, but nevertheless, very nice performance for Fairfield. Didn't have any winners on the day, but had a slew of second-place finishers. Logan Johnson at 285, Dre Smithberg at 215, Kaysen Miller at 157, and Kale McCabe at 106 all placed second. Kaysen Miller's second-place finish was a medical forfeit, so I think he must have got hurt.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. But I saw him at the basketball game last night.
He just came back from that.
Yeah, he was at the basketball game last night, and I didn't notice anything like too wrong with him. So I don't know what it was, but I won't speak on it. But besides the fact, but at 145, Xandrick Allison third, as well as Dane Burkhart at 175. Carter Moore 190, Calvin McLean 165, Aiden Westerkamp 138, and Hayden Bowman at 120 placed fourth. And then rounding out the Trojans, AJ Klett at 126 and Elijah Simmons at 150, both placed 8. Washington did have a couple champions on the day, 3 to be exact. Aaron Boone at 132, Chase Griner at 165, and Caden Griner at 130. 8 all picked up crowns at their respective weight classes. Nate Edmonds at 113, Briar Billingsley 144, each placed fourth. Blaine Reese was fourth at 175. Joseph Schreiber took sixth at 106 as well. Lane Schrock 150. Braylon Hamilton at 190, Grayson Hartman at 215, and Rudy Wolf at 285. Each finished fifth. Before Mount Pleasant, highest placer on the day was William Birdsell at 215 and Charlie Bonekamp at 132. Both placed fourth. Landon Beckler at 106, Sawyer Fulton at 113, Jefferson Ramirez Avalos at 138 placed fifth, and then Peyton Walker at 190, Ramsey Davis at 150, and Lane Beckler at 126. Each took sixth. And other finishers rounding out the Panthers day were Jackson Sticker and Keegan Birdsell, who both placed seventh at 165 and 144 respectively there. So, overall pretty nice showing. Obviously, Fairfield and Washington pick up top 3 finishes. Mount Pleasant down there in 9th, but a lot of positives looking at this, and some pretty good teams in here, including all the Southeast Conference teams. So a lot of familiar faces there wrestling as well.
Yeah, and the Southern Iowa Classic is basically the SEC tournament. There isn't a real SEC tournament with just the 6 schools. And those
other schools that were in this were, as I mentioned, PCM, Eddyville, Blakesburg, Knoxville, Davis County, and then the rest of the Southeast Conference field. So,
so that's a lot of 3 of those are SCC teams, South Central Conference teams.
Right.
And PCM is a former South Central Conference team. Fun fact, because they were in the SCC when I was in high school for like 1 year. The Super Conference does have an official wrestling tournament. It was hosted by Notre Dame this weekend, and a good job by the Notre Dame Nikes. They scored 246, but guess what, Hunter? That was 1 point short because the Columbus Winfield Mount Union Wildcats, 247 points to win the conference championship. They got first, Highland fourth, Waco fifth, New London seventh, Van Buren County ninth, and Pekin 11th. For Columbus, we had a couple individual champions. In Case and Doppler at 175 and Russell Coyle at 285. So that means Russell Coyle is the Southeast Iowa Union Super Conference heavyweight champion of the world. Shout out Bruce Buffer.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. And we got Luke Guzman from Highland, Conference champion at 120. Loudon Housingay went 190. Why did I pronounce Ella's name wrong? And then I said, I almost pronounced it like Loudon's last name. It's the same family, same last name. That was what tripped me up. If you throw back, rewind to the girls' basketball Waco Winfield thing I did when I confused myself. Newland had a couple of second places. Van Buren County had a fourth. Pekin had a third place finish, but Columbus WMU the champs. And now we will be looking to the district tournament coming up for those guys, the sectionals, the districts, and then eventually the boys state tournament. Every weekend from now on, we got some tournament wrestling starting with Thursday. So I'm excited about. By the way, anybody that's going to the girls tournament on Thursday, it starts at 10 a.m. at Extreme Arena. So, and it is as crazy as the boys. I mean, they're wrestling, 8 matches at a time, 16, whatever it is. So, yeah, here we go. Congratulations on the Chief Bone Super Bowl, Hunter. Real quick.
I told you, man. Believe, man.
Find me on Thursday. I had a rant about the Swifties ready that was in my throat, but all this high school sports has calmed me down. So,
cool.
But spoiler for next.
2 for 2, man. 49ers. Yeah. I said.
You're like 8 for your last 9.
I know. I should have threw some money on it.
You should have. Hunstradamus.
In reality, the Lions should have won, but we won't go there.
Yeah, I had a rant about that too. We'll talk about it on Thursday when we have less high school sports. We'll lay it on the line. All right.
Put all our feelings out there.
Yes. Also, not a sponsor of the show, but a sponsor of our newspaper. Shout out to Washington Farm Bureau for free popcorn last night at boys basketball at Washington. Appreciate it. That's not just me. That was everyone got free popcorn. When will we see him, Hunter?
Thursday morning.
Thursday.